upsell scripts. This one specifically is for upselling people that send you reply to the text blast, but you can't really work with any upsell scenario. So here's the guidelines. When you're upselling or when you're renewing clients, you want to go in with a customer support angle. So you say something like, instead of saying, hey Jack, it's just Brian from XYZ company, you say something like, hey Jack, it's just Brian from XYZ company client support team. Reason why we want to do that is because it lowers people's guard. So they're not talking to a salesperson, like they feel like they're actually getting helped, right? Obviously, on a sales call, we go from a helping frame, but here especially. Now, if you already talked to them, then you don't need to say client support team. You can just say XYZ from XYZ name, okay? Now, when upselling clients you already taken through a sales call or you have a good relationship with, you can skip a lot of the what you do on a regular sales call. So I had typical instances where it's because and this will go over in the touch point section, but when you're keeping in touch with your clients, then you can typically say, hey man, like you should do this. It's 15K. And they're like, okay. Like that's the best case scenario. I've had that too, because I have such a good relationship with the people I saw. I kept in touch with them, I help them, I hold them accountable, things like that. Right. And it takes like 5 minutes at a time. In that case, you can skip a lot of the emotional pain points sung on dance. And the other extreme is that if you're a client that you've never spoken to, you do want to do more of the problem, the emotional goals as if a brand new sales call, right? So you got to kind of gauge in between, like how much can I skip and how much do I need to still do in this situation? It's more situational awareness, okay? Now, with the script, let's go into it. So this is the default, okay? This is like the generic, again, it's not a rigid thing. It's kind of like you got to find a sweet spot with each person, but it's a default. Hey, Jack. Hey, Jack, it's just Brian from a company named Client Support Team. How you doing? Yeah, doing good. Good. Just saw your text. So you're just requesting some information on possibly getting more personal help so you could get outcome. Is that right? So you plug in whatever the outcome that they want with what you sell. Okay. So if you sell a trading offer, so you say something like, yeah, it looks like you're just requesting some information on possibly getting more personalized help so you could get better return from the trading. Is that right? If it's you're trying to, if you help them grow their fitness business, more personalized help so you could grow your fitness business. Is that right? So if your backend offer does more one-on-one personal support, you said personalized help, right? If it's more like advanced, then you say more advanced help. So either one of those two or both. They'll be like, yes. And then you want to get to the desired outcome, right? You don't have to get to specifics, but you need to go to like what direction do they want to go, which is, okay, so what about the text that sparked your interest? Oh, like the help, it sounds pretty good, right? And you can ask a follow-up question like, yeah, what kind of help do you feel like you're looking for? And then after that, you want to get to their goal, okay? Okay, so let's say you're able to get more than a personalized help. How much would you like to be making with your business on a monthly basis if you could? Let's say in the next 6 months. So that's if your backend offers you just 6 months, right? So it doesn't have to be exactly like that, but it usually fits the context. They'd be like 20 grand a month. Okay, where are you now to see if you can see the gap? And they'll say 5 grand a month. Okay, so what do you feel you may need help with the most to go from where you are now to that 20 grand a month? And then from here, typically the problem comes out or what they need help with comes out. And they'll be like, I don't know. And typically they'll say one of two answers. One type of answer is a problem-based answer, and the other one is an outcome-based answer. A problem-based answer is something like, oh, I'm not getting enough leads. I can't do this. I'm struggling with this. This is my problem. So that one's pretty standard. That's pretty easy. Now there's an outcome-based answer, which is, well, I'd like to get more leads. Well, I'd like to get more bookings with my Airbnb. I'd like to get more profits with my trading. Okay. And then in that case, you ask like, oh, why is that? Or why that? And they'll typically say a problem here. And the reason why, if you still need to get more juice, more tangible problem, then you can ask this question. What have you been seeing in your ex that's making you feel you need help with why? Okay. So what have you been seeing in your Airbnb business that's making you feel like you need help with pricing strategies? Okay. So whatever they're looking for, plug in here. Whatever the thing is, plug in here, right? So what have you been seeing in your trades that's making you feel like you need more help with risk management? What have you been seeing in your fitness business that's making you feel like you need help with more lead generation? And then from here, what have you been seeing? I learned it from Marco, but here I made it more specific because I found that you get better answers there. And then they'll say like, well, I'm not getting enough leads. I'm not getting enough bookings. My trades are going up and down, whatever it is, right? Oh, that could be some trouble. So what happens if you don't, and then you keep not getting enough bookings from your customers? What happens then? So you can do a mini consequence. From there, it kind of amplifies your pain. So at that point, you can offer the upgrade, which is, okay, so we actually help our advanced clients fix the inconsistent bookings in our advanced Airbnb mastermind. If you want, I can walk you through how that works so you can actually get to that 20 grand a month. Want to do that? So just plug in whatever they say the problem is and the name of the backend program. They'll say yes. And this is a typical presentation structure, which is okay, so we're going to work together for 6 months. And the first thing we're going to do is this. Okay. And you can also put a distinction between the difference between the front end program and the back end program because they're going to wonder too, what's the difference, right? So you can preface it with, okay, so the main difference, how I did when I was selling sales training, because what we did was we got them into like a group coaching program that was 10K. And then there was the back end program was 18K, which is more. First one was 3 months, the front end. Back end was 6 months. Okay, and then they had more access to the influencer, and then we helped them with their industry specific scripting, and then we gave them monthly one-on-one sessions. When in the group call, it was just mainly group calls, right? And so the main difference is that we help you with the industry specific scripting. Okay, and you get more access to influence your name. And the first thing we help you do is industry specific scripting because you had mentioned that right now you're not able to implement the scripting into what you're currently selling. Yeah, so that's what we help you with that. That way you don't have to over analyze. You don't have to be in the guesswork. But we already have pre-written scripts in your exact XYZ industry that our clients are using right now, than our advanced clients are using right now to be making 30, 50K a month in commissions. Okay, so you just take those. Obviously, you have to make some tweaks. That way you're using already what's working. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. And you do that for like 2 other things. So what you want to do essentially, as long as it's true, you want to make it seem like you want to make it, you want to explain it in a way where that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I was looking for. You want to have that moment, right? Yeah. So if, for example, if they were struggling with like, so you know how, let's say it's like a coach offers, right? They're trying to scale their coaching business. Yeah. So you mentioned that now you start to land some clients, but now you're doing the DMs and the sales calls all by yourself, and you're spending a lot of time. You feel a bit exhausted. Yeah. So in our XYZ mastermind, we actually help you place setters and closers into your business. What that does is like it removes you out of the 8 hours that you're spending right now DMing, which means that now you free up that time, and then now you can work more CEO stuff. So you're working on the business, which removes you out of the bottleneck and really scale the business while freeing up more of your time so you can actually go have Taco Tuesday with your girlfriend. Does that make sense? like it's a very hard offer to refuse at that point, right? So you got to find out what your people want and what they fucking hate. And the backend program is simply a vehicle to solve that. You want to do that for 2, 3 other things. All right, cool. Does it all make sense with the structure we just laid out? Yeah, that makes sense. Do you feel like this could take you from where you're now to where you're wanting to go? You're like, yes. Oh, why is that? They explain. That makes sense. Well, I don't really have anything else to go over with you. So the funds required for you to get to 20 grand a month and free up more of your time, spend more time with your girlfriend is 20K. Okay. You can also add a credit option, which is if they upgrade within 3 months, for example, before the front end program expires, you can actually give them a credit. So let's say the front end program is 7K, and then let's say the back end is 20K. You can actually give them the 5K off or whatever the front end program, how much that costs, discounted from the back end, which gives them a sweet deal. You can let them know. Yeah, so because it hasn't been 90 days yet, we can actually credit the 5K. So instead of being 20K like everyone else, you can get in for 15K. How do you want to proceed? And that's the upsell script.